often felt that there's something between analogous practices between painters and writers in general. Writers have words, paper, ink. Painters have the boundaries of the canvas, the paint that they're using, the canvas itself. So like with relatively limited materials, we have to like invent universes. Painters, who especially abstract ones, have to make less sense than writers do, but nonetheless. And in looking at Justin's paintings, there is a literature going on. And I also like have an affection both in my life, but also in my intellectual interest in like cafe culture or spaces of the social, and how individuals, characters, ideas tumble out of these things. There's a lot of layers of story and human and character going on that I think are really fascinating, as well as like underlying deeper idea issues, and of course like the painting as painting itself.
So the first celebrity sighting I recall having was at the Marmalade Cafe, which is in Malibu. I didn't know what her name was, but I knew that Catherine O'Hara had been the mother in both Beetlejuice and in Home Alone, and was absolutely starstruck and like elated by that. And I think it kind of, something about it happening in like a restaurant really like stuck with me as being like a magical moment.
You grew up in LA though,
yeah.
So there was like other things happening here around you.
Grew up in LA. My parents both came out here in the 70s. Like for rock and roll. My father was a musician. He moved out here from Colorado with his brother, and they like played at clubs and stuff. This is like the heyday of like Sunset Strip culture. And my mother kind of had a wild background of like fleeing Minneapolis and living in Colombia with this like drug cartel boyfriend for a while, and then like escaping that and coming to LA and doing like modeling with her twin sister, and then her and my father like happened chance almost getting in a car accident on the Sunset Strip. So like the world that I was brought up into was this kind of like, had this like wild rocker character going on around it all the time. And while I think I could probably at a young age sort of sense what was sort of like bizarre and precarious about it, it was still like a very like warm and loving world at the same time.
Yeah, I mean when I think about like cultural industries, if you want to call them that, in LA, they are full of characters. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like do you have any favorite characters from when you were a kid?
I mean, a really early memory of mine is going to my father's like band rehearsals, like his like 80s hair rock bands, and being like a little kid sitting on like a black leather couch and like drawing with like those huge muffling headphones that like someone working at the airport would have.
Yeah.
These band member characters, these like drummers with massive huge hair and stuff, like really stood out to me from like a really young age. Well, the hodgepodge thing that you alluded to, that feels really like something about the way that LA is made up of all these competing ideas and aesthetics, both like architecturally and like the flora and plant life, like that. I know that that kind of feels like home to me, that feels right to me, and there's something about like the need to like explore that in my work that's kind of always been there. Like I'm kind of like resistant to things feeling too homogenous.
Yeah.
As if though it feels like I would be denying who I am or trying to be somebody else by trying to do that kind of thing. And to think about like how characters play into that, like I think just I'm just attracted to like a diversity of like personalities going on like around me, and I like hope to just like socially be someone that like has their own kind of like way of operating and existing in the world, and I'm attracted to be around that. I feel kind of at my best when I'm around what feels like all these different kinds of characters and things. And I definitely grew up watching a lot of movies and inspired by like all different kinds of character actors that would give a story and give a scenery a lot of range.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny, I grew up in Southern California as well, and when I go to like picturesque little towns in like Denmark or wherever, like I like it for about a day.
Yeah.
But I think I need the noise.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
or like the diversity, the strangeness. Like, I like that LA, like, is full of like invasive species.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I happen to be one of them. You know?
Right.
Like, I like that anything can grow here, and I like that
Yeah.
everything does grow here.
Right.
You know.